Good morning, everybody, and today we're going to continue our discussion on Venn diagrams. So remember, a Venn diagram is just a way to help us display data that is included in sets. So for number one, we've got a Venn diagram that shows senior boys who wrestle or play football. And then, so you've got 18 that only play football, 12 that only wrestle, 9 that do both, and then down in the bottom corner, you've got 104 who do neither. Okay. So the first question is, how many senior boys play football and wrestle? Okay, so that would be probability of football and wrestle. Okay, so that's going to be where football and wrestling intersect, which would be 9. How many senior boys play football but do not wrestle? This would be only football. So you want probability of football and not wrestling. Okay. And that would be the 18. Only play football. How many senior boys play football or wrestle? Now you've got both. So the probability of football and then union, wrestling, football or wrestling, that would be all of them. So 18 plus 9 plus 12. And the reason I wrote that out is because what happens is sometimes we get, 27 people played football and 19 people wrestled, and they try to add that together. But then you're double counting 9. And you'll see that when we get to two-way tables, you'll see that double count that we're going to eventually be able to take away. And the final question is probability that they wrestle. So probability of W. So how many of those are there? 9 plus 12 is 21, not 19, you knucklehead. This number 2, Venn diagram shows the number of people at the gym who signed up for yoga or aerobics. So how many people signed up for yoga? So the probability of yoga. And that would be 68 plus 24, because even though they signed up for both, they still signed up for yoga, which is 92. Bell's ringing. How many people are signed up for yoga or aerobics? So that's both. So probability of yoga or aerobics. So that's 68 plus 24 plus 89. And of course that total is 181. How many people are signed up for aerobics but not for yoga? So you got the probability of aerobics and not yoga. So that's going to be everybody that is in aerobics, but it cannot include those that are also signed up for yoga, so it's 89. And then, of course, how many people belong to the gym? So that's going to be the 3 we see, 68 plus 24 plus 89. Those are the sets of data we have, but we've also got the number of the universal set that aren't in both. So we've also got to calculate those 575 people that are down there in the bottom right here. So we've got to take into account those folks as well. And when you add those 4 numbers up, you get 756. Of course, you can check my math, and if I'm wrong, let me know. All right, let's jump to number 4. The Venn diagram shows sophomores that got Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram. So sophomores with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So now we've got 3 sets of data with a bunch of different overlapping. So in the school, how many sophomores only have Facebook? So probability of Facebook, and then not Twitter or Instagram. So not TU or I, and then we can put the negation outside of the both. So they've got Facebook and then negation Twitter or Instagram. So that's only going to be those 124 sophomores that are in Facebook only. How many have Twitter or Instagram? So probability of Twitter or Instagram. So that's going to be so we got a lot of numbers. So 37, 21, 46, 16, 34, and 55. Guys, take the time to write that out. Don't try to just guess and miss something. Make sure you get all of the sets of data you need. So we got to get all of those data points. When you add those up, you get 209. How about sophomores that have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram? So they have to have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And that's only going to be the ones that overlap completely in the middle. If we were shading, we would only shade this part right here. How many students do not have Twitter? So Twitter, our probability of Twitter negation, or remember we could see it as probability Twitter bar. We could see that as well. Okay? So that would be all the students that don't have Twitter. So we got 124 that were Facebook only, 55 that were Facebook and Instagram, 34 that were Instagram only, and then 28 that didn't have anything. They're just chilling at the house. So that number would be 241. And then finally, how many students do not have a Facebook and Instagram account? So probability that they Facebook and Instagram, and then of course we're going to hit it with a negation. Or again, you could see Facebook, Instagram with a bar on top. You're going to see it either way. Okay. So now we've got 124 that only have Facebook, 55 that have Facebook and Instagram, 34 that only have Instagram. Oh, oops, sorry. We need to go back and take that 55 out. My bad. I thought we were going Twitter. So 124, 37 that have Twitter and Facebook, 46 that only have Twitter, 16 that have Twitter and Instagram, and the 34 that only have Instagram. So we want the students that do not have both Facebook and Instagram. Add those up, and our number is 285. Go to the next page. Again, we got a little three-piece, right, and a few questions that go along with it. Okay, the Venn diagram shows surveys results of cities visited by groups of people on a trip to Europe. How many visited Dublin or London? So we want Dublin or London. So that would include all the people that went to London, 64, 89, 24, 31, and the people that only went to Dublin, 43 and 76. And our total is 327. How many people visited London and Paris? So we got London and Paris. We want the intersection of those two. So that would be 64 plus 24, 88. How about London or Paris? How does that change it? So London or Paris. So you still got, so now you got everybody that only went to Paris, that went to Paris and Dublin only, that went to all three, that went to only Paris and London, people that only went to London, and the people that went to London and Dublin. So really we're just leaving out that 76 at the bottom. And the 78 it didn't go anywhere. So that would be 346. How many people visited London or visited Dublin and not London? So we got Dublin and not London. Okay, so we want people that only went to Dublin, 76. And then the people that went to Dublin and Paris can also be included. So 73 and, or 76 and 43 are 119. How many people only visited Dublin? So we want visited Dublin. Okay. And that would, of course, be, well, so now we got to say, so we got to say Dublin and not Paris or London. So you got to put that in there, Dublin and not Paris or London. So guys, that notation, get used to just kind of reading it and reading what it's saying. How about Dublin and Paris? So you've got Dublin and Paris. We want the intersection of Dublin and Paris. So Dublin and Paris would be 43 plus 24, which is 67. Because that's that intersection. How many people visited all three cities? So you're going to add up everybody in there, or if they gave us a total, no, they didn't give us a total. So you're going to add up everybody that visited the three cities. So who visited three cities? We want Paris and London and Dublin. Who went to all three? Well, that would only be the 24 people. How many people visited London? So that would be just an L. So we'd add up 64, 24, 31, and 89. 64, 34, 64, 24. Sorry, trying to remember numbers in my head. 64, 24, 31, and 89. So that's it. So I want you to take a peek now. Look at H and look at E. How many people visited London versus how many people only visited Dublin? So only visited Dublin is different than visiting London. So try to get used to that little vernacular, the way they're using it. 208, and then of course, how many people took the survey? You would add up everybody in the universal set, Paris, London, Dublin, and that 78 in the bottom corner, which would be 500 people. All right, guys, that's more practice reading Venn diagrams. Let's be great today.